Hi, I want to show you how to make a part and assembly drawing like the one you see here. So it's got several different types of drawings on it. We've got our exploded drawing that shows you how this part is put together. We've got our isometric drawing with shaded edges and so that it looks like its photorealistic self. We've got our orthographic views. So this is the front, top, bottom, right, and left views. And then this right here is a cross-sectional view. We also have a parts list right here. So what we need to do is we need to start by actually going to one of our drawings. So I'm going to just use this hinge joint right here, this knuckle hinge joint 2 right here. And I need to start off with a couple things. So the first thing I need to do is make sure that the materials that these things are made out of are the actual materials that I want them to be. And this will be helpful for my parts list. So I'm going to right click on this body. So I'm going to go into my components right here. So I've created components already. I need to do that in order to make the joints. And I'm going to go to physical material, and I'm going to select the physical material that I want this to be made out of. So let's say that I want this particular piece to be made out of ABS plastic. And so I'll just drag that on there. So that's ABS plastic now. And I want this piece to also be ABS plastic, but I'm going to make it a different color. So I'm going to double click on this, go to advanced, and I'm going to go to appearance, and I'm going to just go to Pantone real quick and maybe just pick a black somewhere down here. There we go. How about something like that? Click OK, and then apply. Click OK. Okay, and now I can drag this onto here. I can do the ABS white onto here. There we go. Now I have a black ABS, a white ABS, and I'm going to leave this as steel. I think it's already steel. So I'm just going to leave this part as steel. Now, the next thing I need to do is actually rename these components. And this is going to be, again, important for my parts list. So I'm going to right click on this and go to rename. And this is a part of my knuckle joint. So I'm going to call this knuckle joint, and I'm going to call this the female. And I'm going to go to this one, and I'm going to call this, I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to call this knuckle joint and male. And component 3 is the pin. So I'm going to call this pin. So I've renamed all of my components right here. My next step is to go up here to design, and I'm going to make an animation from this. So I'm going to click on animation, and I need to transform this, but I need to transform this in a very specific way. I need to transform this in a line, and I need to transform this in the way that I would probably take this thing apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use transform component, and I'm going to start with this pin because obviously if I was to take this piece apart, the first thing I would want to do would be to remove this pin. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to scoot it over this way. Okay, the next thing that I would be doing is I would be taking this piece apart. And so I'm going to transform this piece right here. And I know I couldn't just pull this in real life, but we are going to just keep it in line. So what I want is the center of the circle in the same line, if you can imagine, as the center of this circle and this circle and this circle. And there we go. Now I've done my exploded drawing. I'm going to come here and I'm going to go to drawing and I'm going to go from animation and I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to add my exploded drawing. So I'm going to put it here for now. I might make this just a tad smaller. So I might make this 1.5. So we're just going to make it a tiny bit smaller. And I'm going to click OK. And I'm going to kick this up into the corner right here. So that's my exploded drawing. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add something called an isometric view. So I'm going to come up here to base view, and I'm going to change this from front to home, and it's 1 to 2, and I want it to be maintaining that same scale. So I'm going to change this to 1 to 1.5, and I'm going to do shaded here because I want this to be something that is shaded so you can see what it would look like. All right, so there is my isometric drawing, exploded drawing. Now I'm going to add another base view, and this time I'm going to add front, and I want to use this visible and hidden edges. So I'm going to put this right about here, and I'm going to change this again to be 1 to 1.5, and I'm going to click OK. Now, I'm going to use this feature right here, which is called the projected view, and I'm going to select this, and I'm going to select the top line right here. When I do, it's going to give me the top of this assembly. So I put this here and I hit enter. And I'm just going to do that again, this time for the right hand side and hit enter. This time for the left hand side and hit enter. And then I'm going to do this for the bottom. And I'm going to hit enter. There we go. This now has all of the parts that I want right here. And these are all of the views. I need to add measurements to these, but there's a specific way that the IB wants you to add measurement. If I go here to the design website, you can see that they want you to have very specific ways that you can do this. So in order to achieve on the highest band level, then you need to do this. It says both horizontal and vertical dimensions are sourced from a single origin point. There's sufficient detail to indicate sizes and positions of features, use of angles, and to establish starting positions, etc., etc., etc. So we need to do this. And you can see that they've sourced their measurements from a central line. So they've started with the central line, and then they've sourced all of their elements that on this particular drawing from that central line. So we need to do the same. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to add a central line. So to do that, I click on this where it says center line. And I'm going to click on this edge, and you can see that my central line just appeared. This is it right here. I'm going to do the same thing for a central line this way. So I'm going to still stay on center line, and I'm going to click here and here. Now you'll notice that my central line is only on the left side here, so on the left part. But I can click the escape button, and then if I drag this arrow over, my central line now goes all the way across. Okay, so I have a central line this way, and I have a central line this way. But I also need a central line on this particular, on the pin right here. So I need to make one that goes up and down. So I'm going to click on center line, and I'm going to click on this side and this side. And again, you can see now I have a central line there. And I can make my measurements from that. So let's start making some measurements here. I can use the linear dimension tool. I find this one to be the best. So in your dimension tools, click on the linear dimension. And what you can do is click on a point here, click on a point here, and now I can say that that is 100. You don't need to do that down here, because if this is 100, then that's 100. Any parallel lines that are the same, you only need to mark once. I'm going to mark this to that central line again and drag it up. I'm going to mark this to the central line, and if I drag this out, you'll see that it's 10. And again, to the central line. You actually can click there and then pull it out, and you'll see that it becomes a 10. I don't need to do these two because they're the same. I'm going to mark here to here and drag that up, and here to here, here to here, and drag that up. Okay, if you ever get, like I made a mistake here, I'm just going to escape and then undo, and I'm going to mark that again. In fact, I'm going to undo both of these and try that again. Sometimes it's helpful if you zoom in a little bit to get these points correct. So here to here, escape. Let me try that again. Here to here. See, now it's going all the way across on me. So let me try that again. Here to here, and I'm going to drag that up. And then here to here, and then I'm going to drag that up. Now, if you have this problem where your numbers are overlapped, I can move this. So if I just grab this point, if I click on this, and then I grab this point, I can move that 4.9 a little bit over. I should be able to anyways. It's being a little bit difficult. There we go. Okay, so there we go. So I know that both of these are 4.9. Okay, what other measurements do I need to make? I need to make this measurement right here. So I'm going to go to my linear dimension tool and I'm going to click here and drag that over. And then here and again, drag that over. Now, this one I always have problems with. It won't let me do that. So I'm just going to click that that's 8. And you can see that it moved it way over to this side right here, which I don't really want. So again, I'm going to click escape. I'm going to click on the 8 and I'm going to drag this little box over so that it's not so far away. Okay, so there we go. Those are, I think, all the dimensions that you would need on this particular, oh, I need to know the length of this pin. So actually, let me do that. So I'm going to click on linear dimensions here to here, and that's 30. Okay, so those are the linear dimensions there. All right, I'm going to add so we have a circle on. I'm going to do the same thing on this. So I would do the exact same thing that I just did. I need to start by clicking on center line and do a center line here, and then click escape, click on my center line that I just drew, extend it all the way across. I'm going to do the same thing for a center line here. So I'm going to click on this, and there's my center line there. I need a central point inside the circle. So I'm going to click on this geometry thing right here, and I'm going to click the center of that circle. But I also need to do the same thing on this particular curve right here. So this curve right here also needs a center point. So I'm going to use this feature right here, and I'm going to select that. Okay, so and that puts a center point for that particular curve there. I now need to add all of the dimensions on this. So let's start with this one. We're going to put some radius dimensions on this circle. So I'm going to select this circle, and you can see that that radius is 5. I'm going to select this, and you can see that the radius of that curve is 10. Now I can start doing my linear dimensions. So again, with the linear dimensions, I'm going to select here and pull this up. I'm going to select here to here and pull this out. I'm going to select here to here and I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to select, let's see, what other lines do I need? This one. So from here to here, pull that up. From here to here, pull that down. From here to here, I need to pull that over. And I think that's it for that particular part. Oh, I do need to add this line right here. So here to here, we'll pull that down. I would do the same thing on this one. So here we go. Linear dimensions, here to here. And actually, now that I think about it, I need to put my center lines in first. So center line here, center line here, center line here, center line here. I'm going to drag this over like that. Okay, I need to do a center line on this pin also. So center line on the pin here to here. Okay, I'm going to hit escape and then do all my linear dimensions again. Linear dimension here. Again, if you get where you've made a mistake, just you can undo, but also hit the escape button because that just gets you out of the dimension tool and it makes your life easier. And I don't like how that 4.9 is hidden there. So again, I'm going to click on it and then grab that circle and just pull it over here so that we know where that's at. Okay, let's see. I think that's all I need on this particular drawing. Oh, I need that line right there. Okay, and I need to do the same on these Now there is a way that you can kind of cheat on this, which is kind of fun. If you go up to Dimension Tool and you use Auto Dimension and select this, you can actually say, okay, and look through what the dimensions are going to be. If I just click OK on this, it's going to find some dimensions that maybe I've missed. Okay, so I can click OK, but I still need to put some dimensions on this drawing. You can see. So I'm going to do this to this and this to this. That gives me all my center lines. These other lines are invisible edges, by the way. That's what you're seeing there. And then I'm going to use my dimension tool, and I'm going to go from here to here, and then here to here, here to here, and here to here. Again, I don't like where that's at, so I hit escape, click on it, drag this little dot down so that's where I want it to be. And I think that's it for that part. Oh, I need to say the length of this. So dimension tool, linear dimension, going from, and this can sometimes be tricky. I'm going from here to this center line right here. But it's saying 19. In this case, I might just do the entire from here to here. Okay. Zooming back out because I need to do the left side also. So similar process. I'm going to start with center line. Click on this, click on that, gives me my center line. I'm going to click on this, gives me my center line. I'm going to do linear dimensions. So here to here, drag this up, here to here, drag this up, and I'm not happy with the placement of that, so I'm going to pull it over here. Okay, here to here, oops, linear dimension, here to here, here to here, and then lastly, here to here. Okay, so those should be all the dimensions that I actually need. Now I'm going to do one other kind of nice thing that allows to help people understand what this part looks like. I'm going to do a cross-sectional view. To do the cross-sectional view, I need to go to sectional view. Okay, so I click on sectional view, and I'm going to click the part that I want, so the view that I want the sectional view through. So I actually want it to be this one. And I'm going to keep the same kind of dimensions and everything. Parent view. I'm going to select the point, and then select the point, and hit enter. And then I can pull this down. And then I can click OK. And this shows me a sectional view of how this works. So this gives you some understanding of the actual drawing here. And I can do a couple of sectional views because actually the one that I want to have is perhaps this one. So let me just try this again. Sectional view, this one. And I'm going to go from here to here, hit enter, and then I'm going to drag this down also and click OK. One thing I can do, and I know because this is quite crowded, is I can actually use this tidy up feature. So if I just click tidy up, it's going to put things more or less where they go. But you can see that my drawing is a little too crowded. So one of the things I can do is go to sheet settings, and I can go to the paper size, and I can adjust my paper size. So right now it's A3, but I'm going to put it on to A1 and then click OK. All right, and then I can click on here and I can say tidy up. Okay, it's going to spread things out a little bit. And in fact, maybe this paper is too big, so I'll go to my sheet size here again and change this. Let's just do an A2 and see what happens. Click OK, click tidy up, and it's going to position things where I want them, hopefully. Should have done that. Tidy up. Okay, if it's not doing that, you can always select things and then pull them where you want them. Okay, there we go. I'm going to do a couple more things. I'm going to add a text note here. So I'm going to put a note on this edge right here saying that this is a top sectional view. Hit enter, click close. I'm going to put a note here again on the edge, and this is a side. This is the front sectional view, front sectional view. And I want to add a table. So I click OK. I'm going to add a table. Select this view. Okay, and then I'm going to put this table here. Now, this is where it becomes important that you actually have names for your parts and have the correct materials, because then your part list just comes in automatically and you can see that it's numbered up here. And that is how you can create a pretty good technical drawing with all of the correct annotations that you need. All right, thanks for watching, guys.